Hey creators, welcome to the club. The Black Creators Club is the go-to resource for Black movers and shakers in Hollywood, reactions to the latest pop culture, tea, and our own entrepreneur and entertainment journeys. We're going to be giving you our 2 cents on the hottest entertainment stories of the week. We're going to be giving you our special segment, Gotta Be Entertained, where we're going to be telling you about all the shows that y'all cannot miss. Okay, and then of course we got some Black excellence news. But first, let's check in with my co-host Akilah. Girl, how are you doing? Our little Maven and Maven check-in.
Yes. Hey girl. You already know that this week has been just crazy for me. I don't know if you're feeling the same or if this is just the August feels, but I've just been like under a rock when it comes to work, when it comes to just getting things done and feeling like now is the time I need to do it. So it's been crazy to me. Shout out to Eboné for holding us down with our social medias at the Black Creators Club. She's been doing it. And this is why you want to do it with a team, because if not, this week, y'all would not have heard from me. It would have been very silent. It was crazy. But I would say though, one major highlight was I got my nails done. I got my
nails done. They're cute.
Yeah, thank you.
Close up. Let's get a close up.
Can I do a close up?
Oh,
look how cute they are.
See, and listen, every time I try to go to the nail salon and want to get something cute and designer like that, never, they're like, I don't know how to do that.
What do you want? So I'm just like, get a Pinterest photo and show them exactly this is what it is. And the reason why this was so exciting, I'm like, I feel like you're almost risking it all doing these everyday activities. And that's just how it felt for me. I'm like, all right, I'm finally getting my nails done after the last time I got it done professionally was the week before quarantine started. So back in March. I was like, you know what? I have to make this a new normal. She's following her procedures. I have my mask. She has her mask. It's only me in the whole place. And so I'm like, you know what? We're going to make it happen. And I loved it. How was your week, girl?
Girl, but you know what? I relate to you because I feel like last week I was really on some stressful mess. Like I felt all over the place. What is work? What is life? What is posting? It was just so much and I felt like overwhelmed. So I totally hear you. This week was a little bit better where I felt like, okay, I'm on top of it this week. Okay, like, we're getting things done this week. I felt better about it. But last week I relate. And girl, see, I did go get my nails done because my nail salon opened up like a month ago, 2 months ago. And I was like rushing to get it in.
It's time.
I'm close with the girl because, you know, the owners, they work there as well. So she texted me like, hey, we're doing, you know, our clients. But I was like, girl, book me, Manny and Petty. I need both.
Right.
But it's been a minute. And so now I'm like, listen. Okay, listen, I do my own nails, but I
know it's like tools of the trade. I know how to do everything now, buff, scrub, whatever needs to happen. But everything we got it done. But I was like, you know, it's nice to just lay back and let somebody else do it. I hear you.
So, you know, but like my week was good, girl. There was nothing else like too exciting. Just kind of, you know, getting through the week. It's you know, so that's nice. But yes, so you guys. Let's get into our hot topics, okay? Because we got a lot of hot topics for y'all, okay? And one of them, Akilah, now I don't know if you've noticed on your timeline, but
I noticed.
My timeline has been hot with the quarantine baes. Hot.
Okay?
Hot. What is happening? There was a whole recruitment process that I missed out on, apparently. Like
we were not aware.
I thought we were missing. I thought we were skipping cuffing season because of COVID, but apparently I did not get the memo.
It's COVID season, aka cuffing season, and thankfully we're missing both. Thankfully, but at the very least. But it's crazy to me because I'm like, where did all this happen? And where was I? Because I thought it was mask on in your home for at least 2 weeks. But apparently folks have been getting it in and folks have been making it happen. And I've been just on the sidelines unknowingly. If you told me that the game was happening, I would have showed up.
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Okay? Put me in. Now listen.
It's crazy.
This is my thing. Should I take my Hinge profile off of pause or something? Like, do I need to be, you know, but at the same time, like, how safe is this? I feel like people that are like in quarantine based season, they had to have known the person before quarantine happened, because there's
That
no
is the
way
key.
that you're dating
Yes.
some random person that you're meeting online, or if you
Mm-hmm.
are, I hope you're wearing your mask. And
Right.
no kissing, okay?
You know,
Like,
you can't tell the people anything. If people don't even want to wear a mask to go to the supermarket, they damn sure not wearing a mask when they meet their bae.
right.
I feel like this is not happening. But I agree with you in the sense that it would have had to happen. Or I thought if you had known a person beforehand, or at least were semi talking to someone beforehand, quarantine just made you realize, listen, it's all or nothing when it comes to
Girl.
this person. Or to decide to say, I'm going to let them by the wayside. Like that was, I think, a situation with me. I feel like quarantine has allowed me to say, actually, is this worth COVID? Is this worth risking it all for someone that may not be your all, you know? And so I feel like quarantine put it in perspective. And that's when I went and became a hermit. But I didn't know. I didn't know
I
that
didn't
things were
know.
still happening.
Yeah, I didn't
Right.
know either. I didn't get the memo either. You know, but it's funny
Mhm.
because I feel like there's been at least 3 to 4 people that have been on my timeline that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, with the boy, with the girlfriends and the boyfriends. I see
Right.
you. I see you. I see you.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like quarantine has given a lot of stress to a lot of the situation, period.
Mm.
Whether it's like
Yeah.
dating or work or whatever. So I'm at that point where I'm like, I don't even know if I want to deal with you. Okay.
Yes.
Because men
Yes.
already, well, listen, okay. Men already
Listen.
get
Listen.
in trash out here trying to date somebody. Okay. So to even put the stress of dating in a pandemic on lockdown, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I want to deal with the stress, y'all. I don't think I want
But
it.
that's the thing. That's the thing. I feel like it just ups. What is the criteria? You know what I mean? Like, what is the criteria for dating someone during quarantine? Do they still have to simply, smile and laugh at your jokes? Do they have to cook occasionally? Or is it more so like, I need to know that we're going the long haul from the beginning? Like, I'm trying to understand, like, it is friendships or situationships no longer a thing because of quarantine? Like, I have no idea. I'm thinking perhaps that's why we're seeing all these like bae pictures, locked down pictures, because if you're locked down together, like, you're gonna be together. That's what it is. Or people still playing games and saying, like, I still want to date around. I still kind of want to be low key single, low key together with folks. I'm curious. Like, what do you think the criteria is for dating someone in quarantine?
I would have to say, really knowing someone. That would be number one. Like, you would have to have
Mm.
known them already, like, had an established relationship with this person. Okay. 2, I would have to say, you know what, Akilah, let me be real. Because at the end of the day, even if you are in quarantine, bay, lockdown, whatever, and it doesn't even have to be for the long haul, because at the end of the day, like, people get lonely, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be quarantined in the same house. Like, you probably have your own
Truth.
place, and you guys can go back and
Truth.
forth and have your own space.
Mm-hmm.
And guys could still be playing around because they just find a way to do the bare minimum already as it is. So this is just giving them an extra excuse to do the Netflix and chill. Like, girl, we can't go
To
nowhere.
do
Come on over.
whatever.
Come on over. So they can
That's
still
my
be
main thing.
they
I'm
can
like,
still
if
be
you
playing in quarantine, girl.
you
They can
can't,
still be playing.
that's it. It's like, it's almost easier because beforehand you were like, no, like, you got to take me out, you got to do this and that. Now you can't even, you can suggest it if you want, but it's like, if they're not doing it, you can blame it on COVID, or they can blame it on COVID, versus like the fact that they're just being cheap. They don't want to take you out. You know what I mean?
Girl.
And so I think it's going to take longer to detect who's really those F-boys out here, because now they have an entire pandemic to blame why they're doing certain things. Oh, I can't see you tonight. 2-week minimum. Oh, I can't do this, whatever, because, COVID, I don't want to go outside, versus you're just not that into that person. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting also what you were saying earlier, like, I'm on Hinge, I'm on the League. Those are the 2 dating apps that I use.
Oh, the League. Tell me about the League. Tell me about that. What is that?
The League is like,
that sounds exclusive. What is that?
Girl, low-key is. but I'm kidding. But it's if you've seen the Insecure, like the first season, they like Molly talked about it a little bit. Pretty much what it is, it's like a Hinge. I feel like everyone who's on it is on Hinge, and pretty much what it is kind of like, you match with people, they give you a batch of like 5 or so a day, and you have to like match with them or see if you like the same sort of swipe, not swipe thing. But what their protocol or their kind of MO is kind of like, oh, this is like dating more elite in a sense. So the people, like, whether it's a good job, great schools, whatever it might be, like, that's how they're on it, girl.
Okay, so we got good jobs and good schools. Is that what you're telling me? Because what do I
Girl,
need
that's what the league is telling me.
this is my thing. When you're on a dating app, are you on multiple dating apps? Like, because I'm only on one, and that's a struggle for me just to keep up with that one. That's why it's on pause, because I didn't got time for it. So am I supposed to be on multiple dating apps? Like, I hate dating apps, by the way. I hate dating apps, girl. Yeah, yes. I'd rather meet you out. Like, I'd rather, even though that doesn't help either, because there's still, girl, you be meeting all types of crazy people out. But
you meet everybody out,
right? Right. I would rather be out meeting someone so I could at least feel your vibe, feel your energy, see how you are as a person, instead of like doing this like online messaging back and forth. I'm like waiting for you to ask for my number, or waiting for you to take me, like, ask me on a date type thing. You know?
Right. So, I totally agree with you. I think everyone is like out and in person, and my deal through a friend is kind of like, that is the ideal. But I'm on 2 apps, and I feel like most people are on more than one app. So it's interesting to hear like you're on one, but I think Hinge is, if you have to do one, like, I'm a proponent of that one. So it is.
Well, girl, I might sign up for the league after this. Don't.
Yes, girl. Let me send you a little link.
Send me a little link, girl, because I'm trying to get me a little. I need a little step up. You know what I'm saying? We need to step it up. Step it up. Okay, my price just got raised. Okay. My price just went up.
That's you.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta step it up. Step it up. Come correct. Okay.
There it is. I mean, we gonna see. Obviously, we got to take this more serious. Or like, I'm just gonna say, let me get back to swiping. Let me get back to doing a little, at home 10-person or less gatherings.
But are you that
see
bored?
If I could join. If I could join it. Obviously not, girl. I'm reading my book. I am doing what I need to do. But I mean, I feel like life is now passing us by, or pass me by. So I'll use myself, but I'm just saying, this quarantine bae pictures and bae everything, I'm kind of like, oh shit, I didn't realize like this was happening. And now that I know, let me get back in the saddle and figure things out before, because now cuffing season are like, it's almost starting. Like, this is kind of that drafting period.
Girl, listen to this. This is my thing. What? It's August, okay? If you find a bae in August, September, are you buying them a Christmas present? Now, that is the question. Is it too early for a Christmas gift?
I think it's nice. I think regardless, it's just the level of the gift. Like, I would buy a gift, but it's not like I'm buying you this crazy, we've been together for forever type of thing. It may be a jokey type gift. It may be an inserter type gift. But I think there's levels to even gifts. Like, but I mean, yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, you're like,
I'm gonna take notes, girl. I'm gonna switch things up, because clearly what I've been doing ain't working. So let me switch it up a little bit, see how to change it up. But Akilah,
we trying out here, child.
Right. We trying. But tell us where they can find the Black Creators Club, girl.
Yes, guys. We work really hard to do this show, the Black Creators Club. And the best way you can repay us is to share this show with a friend, and to subscribe to our YouTube page, or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, because we're on both. When you do, please comment on the show. Again, everything is at the Black Creators Club. We will read fan shout outs on the air. So if you want to email us, that's theblackcreatorsclub@gmail.com. Also, if you have questions or even cool news items we may have missed, let us know too.
Perfect. Yes, please.
Yes.
Let us know, you guys.
Let us know.
Working hard. There's so many different topics, and so it's hard to kind of like narrow it down every time.
Right.
But y'all. But back to this dating, the situation, right? So apparently there was a Black Love clip. Now, Black Love is a show that is on OWN. And, Tommy and Cody Oliver are the creators of the show. And so this was something, it's coming again for its 4th season. But this particular clip that is now going viral is something that was for a past season. It was something that happened like maybe a season or 2 ago. I missed this clip, y'all. I really did. I love the show, but I missed this clip. And so now that it's coming up viral, I was like, let me listen. Y'all, this is some crazy mess. What would you do for love? Go ahead, Akilah. Play us the clip.
Yes, let's play it. I've been trying to play it this whole time. Thank you for this intro.
It's exciting.
We're going to play it. Yes.
We had to experience murder through that. I was held at gunpoint with my own gun and watched the mistresses I was living with at that time killed in front of me, which she had to bear that burden too.
Yeah.
We lost our home to arson.
Our home was burned down.
Then an innocent person was killed rushing to the fire of our house burning down because of our mess.
It was hard to get through.
Girl. First of all, the man said he was living with his mistresses. First of all,
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand everything. Like, so
you said a lot.
Yes, give us the breakdown. So he was living with his mistresses. From this clip, we still obviously need to see this episode, but
Right.
from the clip, it sounds like he was living with his mistress, as you mentioned. What else? His mistress was shot by someone in front of him by someone else who came into the home.
Who used
and I'm like,
his gun.
I don't know who used his gun. So I'm like, is it someone he knew? Someone the mistress knew? I don't understand. And then on top of it all, their whole home went up in flames. It was arson, you know, and someone who I guess came, and I don't know if it was a firefighter or someone who came to rescue whatever, died in the fire in their home.
And then he said, because of our mess. Now listen, I don't know what she did, but she didn't say that she did nothing. He sounded like he was out here wilding in these streets because of your mess, sir. Let's get that right. Because
let's get it right.
That I'm now in because of you.
Right.
We got all this going on. Maybe, you know what? Maybe she
Everything
burned down the house though. Maybe, listen, I don't know the full story, so I'm just making some assumptions.
I would go with you because I'm like, that is the only way. Because I'm like, even if, let's say you got past something, I cannot sit by you so close and cuddly while you're telling the story. Like, I would have PTSD. I'll be like, all right, at this moment we were apart. We were obviously disconnected. So I'm gonna sit over here while you tell your story about what happened. Tell the folks what you did while I'm over here.
But this is my thing, right? If you are living with your mistress, clearly there was something going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's no way that I'm not about to burn down your entire house.
Yeah.
When you're out here living with your mistress, sir. So I'm pretty sure she did that. I'm sure.
I would, positive. A little left eye situation.
Girl, she probably was trying to burn the clothes and then it just went up in flames and next thing you know,
True. Our mess though. Yeah, I know. I mean, till death do you part, I guess. But
girl, she was doing a lot. What would you do for love, Akilah? What would you do for love? Because that's some crazy mess. I can't stay through that. That's better her than me.
I can't relate. I can't relate to that toxicity. That's just not what I invite. What would I do? Would I ever deal with that? You know what? Never say never, but I truly believe, because I wouldn't categorize that as love. What would I do? Girl.
What's the craziest thing?
I would buy a Christmas gift, as I mentioned.
No, but what's the craziest thing you've done for love, girl?
The craziest thing I've done for love. Listen, I don't love these hoes, I guess.
Okay.
I'm really sitting here trying to think, what have I done for them lately? Nothing is coming up. Yes, to love myself, child. I've gone on these apps is what I've done. This is crazy, but I'm on these apps swiping on strangers. So hopefully get that happily ever after. You tell me, what have you done, child? Because obviously I need to take notes. Not this. Let's just say not this.
Right. That's toxic. I don't know about that. I don't know if I can live with your mistress. I think we done crossed the line. That sounds like divorce court to me. Okay, that's not it. You know what? The craziest thing I've done for love, I think my problem in general is that I stay too long. So I'm not saying that I'm not burning anyone's house down or driving past your house or stalking you, slashing your tires. Like, I'm not doing that because I'm just not at that level. Like, I would never allow myself to let someone take me there because that's just not my temperament, right? Like, I'm not an angry person to need to get revenge on you. That's not me.
Yeah.
But I think my problem in general with guys is that I just stay in situations that aren't for me.
That's real.
Way too long. So I know, and girl, listen, you learn. This is when you start growing up and start realizing what you're doing.
Truly.
I see it. And so I'm like, girl, and the thing is, like, you always know, right? Like, you always
Yes, you know, that intuition is not a joke. Like, you know, I think honestly, from even the beginning of a relationship, you recognize there's some, even though I'm all in bliss and there's the honeymoon stage, you recognize there's something here that is not 100%. Something here that's not 100%, but
right.
let me put myself to the side and let me really feel this out because I'm loving 90% of this. So,
Woo!
you know, they say everything is not supposed to be perfect, so it's fine. But it's like those imperfections are enough and it's against your character or against your own buildup that should be enough of a reason to say, I'm out, this is not working out. But I get you, girl. I get that because I think it's hard to just be like, I'm done with a person. You know, some people could just be like, okay, I'm never gonna text you again, never gonna call you again. Like, I'm done, this is it. And like, I wish I would have that temperament sometimes, but a lot of times I'm like, give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know,
that'd be my problem.
That's the problem.
That'd be my problem. That I'd be just giving you the benefit of the doubt way too much because I be knowing when you come up to me that this ain't it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like there'll be certain things that I'm like, okay, this is just for fun. But somebody always catches feelings. Or okay, this person says this, but they're showing me like extra. They're showing me more than what they say they want. So I'm gonna just continue to write it out because clearly if you're showing me these actions that you're here for me, whatever you're saying that doesn't match up, so I'm gonna go with how you're acting, right? And it's like right, you gotta look
I totally get it
and weigh it out and then assess the situation and see how that works for you. And if it doesn't work for you or serve you, you gotta bounce. Like, I just need to be like,
I totally get it.
I hear you, I see you, and I hear you, but this is not for me, and I'm gonna walk out before I get my feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's what it's got to be. We got to protect our feelings. I think that's why it became hard, at least at first, for me to answer that question, because I realized, like, at least looking back, that a lot of those situations wasn't love. And I thought that it may have been, or I thought it was on the cusp of things. Like, I remember even like this guy I was talking to for so long, but the first time we met, and really we met before, but I'm really like sitting down on a date, whatever, when I left, I remember calling one of my great friends, and I was just kind of like, and I was just running through all the red flags that I saw. You know what I mean? Already. That I was really just like, oh my God, he said this and then this. But I'm like, and then still, even though I knew from the very beginning, like, these are a number of things that was said that I know is against what I want to do, like, you know, open relationships and this and that and blah, blah. And I'm like,
girl.
And
you wasn't doing that. Was you doing that?
No. He was just talking about his past.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, girl, what? That's the tea. That was the tea right there.
It stops today. But even that, I was kind of like, yeah, this is a red flag for me for all of this. Because it's just not my tea. If that's your jam, like, go for it. But like, that's just not my thing. But I still continued that conversation. I think this boredom gets me sometimes too. Like, let me just feel this out. And obviously, like, we love talking to people, and that can get us in a lot of trouble every now and then. So not arson trouble, not mistress trouble.
Now listen, the toxic of that is so real. This is my thing too. Last little bit, like, energy I have on this, because it's a lot. But my thing is, like, I had a situation in the past where somebody beyond betrayed my trust, right? Like, they had a whole child, right? And I was like, oh, okay, like, right,
okay,
right. The tea is real. But I was like, okay, you know what? This is not for me. Like, and it took me going through that situation. Like, during the time, I was like, oh my God, I'm so upset. And all this mess. And I was like, why me? Why did I have to go through this? But I'm telling you, that helped me grow so much as a person, like, overnight. Like, by the time I was over that situation, I was like, oh my God, I would never let anybody in life ever take me there. So if even so imagine that. So arson, mistress, listen. No. How do you even deal with that? And obviously this wasn't the first time.
That's it. I was like, this could not have been the first instance. You couldn't have gone that hard the first time. Like, to have like, you there had to have been cheating in the past. And if
that's why she was burning the house down.
That's why she was.
Hello.
Enough is enough. And I don't know if it's the whole, like, you know, officially being married changes things. Because I'm assuming they were married at this point. But I'm like, you know, you're married to someone versus dating someone there's probably a lot more that you take.
Girl,
there's probably a lot more that you take.
I don't care. Listen, I will call up my divorce lawyer in 2.5 seconds if you think that you're about to be living with your mistress. You think they're about to be getting arrested, burning the house down. Boy, I got too much to lose. I'm too cute. I ain't got time for it. Nope. Ain't me. That ain't me.
Y'all tell us what y'all would do, because this is
right.
What would you do for love?
What would you do for love? That is the question. That is the question of the hour. Questions I need answers. Okay.
Yes.
But you guys, let's move on to Ellen DeGeneres. Okay. So she's been in the news lately and recently because of the allegations at her show being, not friendly, not being nice, discrimination, and now there's like a sexual assault harassment topic that has also now been aired out. So recently she fired 3 of her top executives, senior executives at the show because of sexual harassment and employees coming forward. She kind of said, she also promoted Twitch, who's the guy that kind of is like the sound, like
the DJ.
The DJ, yeah. And so now he's co-executive producer. There's so much in this story. So let's just start there, because for one, she said that she didn't know what the energy was or what the environment was at her show. She was unaware of sexual harassment and discrimination, unaware there was like a supposed like unwritten rule that like you couldn't look her in the eye. And so, right. So it's like, but apparently she said that wasn't true. She doesn't know where that came from. Akilah, what are your thoughts on the executives, her not knowing?
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm just like deep sighs. You were saying all this, because I think just being in the industry too, like this story or this whole idea of Ellen and the toxic work environment and everything is something I've heard from last year. Like it was out in a sense that, people talk and everyone is saying, oh, is this a good place to work or not? And sharing stories about what really happened. And so first of all, I was floored when it finally came out, but at the same time, at first it was all hearsay. So I didn't know if it was someone's bad experience. And then all of a sudden they made it seem like it was the entire show. But when it came out finally in so many different things, it's so much. Like first, you mentioned the 3 executives. I think obviously like they should have been outed around when Me Too was at its heyday. It's still definitely a prevalence, but I feel like they knew this was happening. You know what I mean? You can't be this high and not know anything. And it's still an allegation. So I wouldn't really say that they did it and this is what happened exactly. Still an allegation. So innocent until proven guilty in a sense. But I think yes, it was great you just have to get rid of that. This can't be a situation, especially knowing that where we are in the times where we are when it comes to media and entertainment and this kind of allegations, you can't have it going. But like to have Twitch be then promoted, one, I think it was time. I thought he was already an executive producer. Like he's clearly not just a DJ on that show. Like this guy is doing so much for the culture of that show, for the entire idea of the show. Everyone knows, if you watch Ellen, you know of Twitch, and I think he really should have been already co-exec producer or just something a little higher.
But don't you think that this is kind of like I don't want to say a band-aid, but don't you think it's like, oh, okay, he should have been promoted. And now that all this is going on, let's promote the Black guy that's gonna, make our show look better so we can keep it and look what we're doing, and it's kind of like, I love it, but at the same time, again, we need to stop putting band-aids on things. Okay. We need to stop promoting stuff and doing things because it highlights the culture and the trend at the moment. Okay. This should not, Black Lives Matter is not a trendy topic that needs to just be put in forefront when you're in trouble. This should be. You
are absolutely right. It should be. It's a moment. It's a lifetime. But this is a situation where, again, it goes back to like not us taking that opportunity, but really just seeing like this is what the culture is right now. I being Twitch still want to work there. Let's use this as an opportunity to now make sure that I'm at the table and make sure that I have a say when it comes to the programming, when it comes to the culture, when it comes to everything. I don't think it was solely their idea. I feel like he came up to them and was like, listen, this is what's happening. And if I'm coming out here saying, because he came out defending Ellen as well, like not going all double downing on it, but just saying like, it's still a positive environment. I'm just going to wait and see what happens or whatever. I forget his exact quote, but you know, I think it's definitely, I agree with you saying, with what you're saying. It's definitely in a sense a Band-Aid, but I wouldn't rather it any other way in terms of he needs to be at the table and he deserves to be there. And I think unfortunately it took this for him to finally get promoted.
And I think that's the problem for me, though.
You know what I mean? It's stained because it's not like he got it off of his own merits, but at the same time, no one's going to see it that way. People are going to see it like, oh, okay, so what, you think because you promoted someone who already is out of touch with when it comes to the actual environment because he's so far removed from like everyday staffers, that's okay? Like, no, it's not. But I was Twitch. I'm like, listen, this is what we're gonna have to do. Let's get let's get things in order. Let's get stuff in order so that you know, I can then be an advocate. And let's hope that's what he's gonna do. We don't know at the end of the day, but it shouldn't only be up to him. But that's one thing with that. I mean, there's so much to unpack with Ellen. Like you mentioned the executive, but you also talked about just kind of whether or not she's taking accountability, right?
Yeah, and I think that's really how everyone's feeling. It's kind of like, is she taking accountability for her actions and what she is, you know, preaching? She says, you know, be nice to people, this. And for me, it's kind of like, how do you not know? I mean, this is my thing, right? My question, and there's so many questions that need answers, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that as a person who is the top person, that is your show, right? Half the time it's kind of like you're kind of getting shuffled from this meeting to this meeting.
Yeah.
You're in the car, then you're doing the show, then you leave. So it's like, to be honest with you, it's not like she's really running the day-to-day operations, to be honest, you know? So it's like, maybe she didn't know. Maybe she really didn't know. And I'm not like defending, I'm just like playing both sides
just
here.
Devil's advocate right now.
Yeah, just to like give a different perspective, because I feel like people are really like hard on her, but at the same time they should be, because that is like but again, it's Warner Brothers that owns the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not Ellen. This is just Ellen's show. And so if you're the talent and you're just being shuffled in and out, do your show for an hour, have fun, everyone's peace, love, and then you go home and you're not the one that's there from 9 to 5. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I could understand the fact that why she wouldn't know. I mean, maybe she has heard of complaints. Maybe she but at the same time, you're kind of like, oh, okay, like somebody handle it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm talent and
I
I'm
can't,
like,
the thing is though, it's different. Let's compare it to another show. Like potentially if it was, let's say if it was The Real, for instance, you know, versus Ellen. Like if you're gonna be the person, if you're the key talent, it's your show, not only in the sense that you're hosting it, but the sense that it's literally your show. No one else can come in and replace, you know, Ellen in the same way that folks are coming in to replace different facts on The Real, on The View, whatever. Like this is your thing. This is your thing. This is your sphere. If this is like the Oprah Winfrey like show, like this is her sphere. So it's her job to know. She's no longer just the talent. And I think that's why people are coming down on her, and I feel like that's not a good enough excuse, because if you were only the host and you came in, as I mentioned, like, but if you want to be bold enough and you deserve it, and you're saying, I want to be bold enough, I want to have my own show, I want to have it my own name, I want to have it, and you're connecting with the network, and the network is literally just distributing your show, but this is your thing. I don't know if she owns it, but this is her thing. And she's the exec producer, like she's running this and she's getting paid to run this. She's not getting paid similar just to be a host. Like this is her whole domain. This is her job to know. And this is like the CEOs of different companies. Yes, they may not know every little thing that's happening in this department versus that department, but it funnels up. And if she's not having folks around her that are good enough when it comes to people managing, when it comes to like creating that culture, when it comes to whatever, it's going to fall on her. This is why Warner Brothers didn't come out and say, this is how we feel about the situation. It's all on Ellen.
I mean,
it's on her. She's the CEO.
Listen, I'm going to agree to disagree on that one, but and that's fine, right? That's fine. That's fine too. But I'm saying, because within companies, right, like, I'm trying not to say too much, but like within companies, sometimes you can have people, bosses, executives that are not so nice, that are not so
That's
great.
Right.
And
have
you
those
think that like
apples.
they're doing amazing jobs because maybe they're delivering on the business end, but personally, relationship wise within the company, they're not holding up their end of the bargain. And sometimes you're not going to see it as the boss, right? Like if I'm the talent, I'm Ellen, and I come into work every day and everyone's going to kiss my butt. Hello. Like I'm not always going to see everything because everyone is here to yes me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to go necessarily and investigate everything because I have my own schedule. And when you're making millions of dollars daily, you know what I'm saying? You're not even thinking that this is what's happening. You're thinking, okay, great. I'm going to go. I got my lines. We're doing this. Who's the guest this week? Let's talk to my producers. And then you're kind of like, okay, great. Now I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat lunch. I'm going to have dinner. I'm going to play with my cats. I'm going to go hang out with Portia, my wife.
But do you really think though that I feel like this is also a situation where it's easier to say it was everyone else of the job. It wasn't me at all. Because again, like I mentioned, I heard these things last year and I don't work at Warner Bros. I'm not an Ellen. I'm not connected to that at all. Yes, we're in the industry and yes, we work in the media industry. But last year I was in New York. So that's another thing. I was in New York. I wasn't even in LA at the time. And so the fact that I've already just by at least somewhat being involved in this and already heard of these things. And it wasn't that it was everyone at Ellen, the show was happening. It was that Ellen was the issue, you know? And I'm not going to say that this is true or not. And that's why we didn't really talk about it beforehand because we don't work there. We don't know. We have no idea. But I'm just putting it out there. What if it may not be simply everyone that she works with and not Ellen involved? Like, I'm hard pressed to believe if everyone or almost everyone around you stinks. Do you not stink even a little bit?
No, I feel it. I feel it.
Like, really dumbing down the analogy, but I feel like that's just kind of what it is. And I think it's easier. And I think this was a great move too, to just be like, hey, I didn't know, like, you know, if it's nothing against you personally, like you didn't know about it, but you're going to do everything to stop it because at the end of the day, your show is a feel good show. And I believe Ellen should be a feel good person too. Like to have that show, you can't fake that day in and day out. Right. But I don't know if everyone in that room is innocent, you know, and then I'd be hard pressed to say that she didn't know anything. You cannot, you know, she's successful for a reason.
I feel it because I said, I think like on our first episode was something about like, if you're like the energy had to come from somewhere. Yeah. And so clearly if even if she may have treated one person like that, you're the example. So then some people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, Ellen wants this. And it's like, and if Ellen's energy is, I don't care how you get it, just get it done. Yeah. Then the next person's going to take that and be like, bet, you know what? This. And if I have to treat you like crap to get it done, because you're not this, you know what I'm saying? And it goes
it funnels down. But it's also kind of like, I don't know if this has to do with, and we could talk about her being a woman, her being a gay woman. Like, I don't know if they just look at little things differently, because I'm like, you know, if this was a man probably bossing someone around in a sense, would you say that it was a toxic environment, or would you say that this is your job, you know? And so I don't know. Again, we weren't flies on the walls even to know like exactly the dialogue, but perhaps she was just trying to get her job done, and perhaps she just wanted a tight ship run, and it became a situation where it's toxic. And who knows? There's a fine line between the two, but yeah, it's a fine line between two. Do we fault the person who knows at the end of the day, it's my name on it, I'm the sole host, and everything's going to fall on me, so I want it done right, and I'm doing this for people's enjoyment, so I want it done right. And who knows if that was a thing that got misinterpreted to saying like she's got to be such a toxic, mean person. Who knows?
Girl,
who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah,
we don't work at Ellen, but you know what? It looks
who knows?
It looks like she's about to keep her show, so people are gonna, you know. And I think this is just a little blip in the hemisphere. I think that people will continue to watch her show. People still like to, you know, see Ellen and watch Ellen. She might come out on, you know, the first episode and apologize, and it be more of like a thing and whatever, and people will move on from this. You get what I'm saying? She's fired. So she's doing moves. She's making moves to try to.
It's a great show.
It's a great show. People are patching it up. I don't think, you know, I think all the little white people in, you know, all over the world are gonna still love to watch her and support her. Right. I think all minority, like, I think people are gonna just. They're gonna be fine.
We're gonna watch it.
Ellen's gonna be fine.
It doesn't seem like it was that bad. Like, obviously the executive producer with the sexual allegations, that's a serious offense. But I didn't like working here. It would have been mean. I don't know if that's hard enough of a stick to them for Warner Brothers to say we're cutting ties with Ellen.
Probably,
I don't know.
Millions of billions of dollars a year. What? We're gonna do everything we can to save this show, boo, and then we could just Ellen, don't let it happen again, girl. But we got your back this time, okay?
That's it. That's it.
Okay. Well, you know, want to talk about this, but I kind of want to skip it, but we'll just bring it up. Okay. It's okay. It's a short little story about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Okay. So you know that they are distanced themselves from the royal family and they moved to Hollywood. However, you know, we haven't really had like a really royal welcome for them because, girl, we've been in lockdown. But what do you think is going to I think when we're off lockdown that we're going to see a lot of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry everywhere. What do you think?
Yes. I think, and this is what I'm trying to understand, if this was Meghan's endgame or if it was a Prince Harry's thing, or probably really if it was a joint decision to say like, this is our end game for leaving, or is it abducting or whatever your royal abdicating, whatever the word is, removing yourself from your royal duties and deciding to come to Hollywood and live this like, you know, celebrity lifestyle. I think this is the lifestyle that Meghan, you know, it's hard because it's like, this was her life before Prince Harry. And I think it's hard to say like someone should give everything up. Yes, it's, oh my gosh, you know, now the Duchess, but I'm more than that. And knowing that she had a life before him and wanting to explore that life more, I feel like they're about to be doing all the work. If she may not act, because I think that would be too much of a stretch, but I do think, you know, like how she's doing her voiceovers with elephants that she did recently, I think for Disney Plus, or different voiceovers or different speaking engagements, different little films, maybe going to the production route. I think they're going to do a lot more work when it comes to Hollywood. You can't be here and not at least touch it a little bit and be that connected. Wasn't they were staying when they first came in Tyler Perry's mansion. So, I mean.
Well, girl, they got to make money somehow.
That's a thing. They got to figure it out.
Okay, they're regular people now. They gotta make some money. I'm here. You know what? I'm here for it. I think that Harry has also been like that rebel child. And sorry, y'all, my emails are like flying through. Okay, that's what the
we don't hear a thing.
Okay, good. I was like, my emails, geez, they won't leave you alone. But anyways, I think Harry has always been that like wild child, and so I think that he was okay with the fact that Meghan might have pushed a little bit harder to come back to Hollywood and like live a life that she wants to live instead of being royal. I mean, us regular civilians,
life. Right?
You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine? I mean, listen, I don't know. Maybe I might want to be part of the royal family, but there was a lot of restrictions. Girl, you couldn't wear dark nail polish. You had to always be neutral, light pink, and you dress, and then you had to do all the events and go to
social media. Couldn't do that.
It was a lot of restrictions.
Yeah,
it was like fun because you do have everything, but at the same time, it's like, what cost do you want to? You know what I'm saying? At least this way, they can kind of live their own, like live how you
live their own lives.
You want to voice over? You want to go out, girl? Do your thing.
Yes.
Red carpet it up, like. And
that's the thing. And I think it's kind of like when you realize you're not even next in line for the throne or next in line for the throne, like you still have your dad and then, you know,
your
Prince
brother
William and then potentially you. And so it's kind of like, you know, in your lifetime, this is not going to happen for you at all. So like, why not just, you've been in this capsule, in this bubble your entire life, seeming like trying to break free in different moments. Like you said, more of a rebel child, like, why not? And why not come to America, be closer to Meghan's side of the family, grow a little Archie, and just live your life.
But like, yeah, exactly. How much fun would it be to see them at red carpets, like a royal, like the Duchess of Sussex, okay, out here at the red carpet? Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they denounce their title after you like get separated from the royal family, but I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Moving right along, we are gonna go.
You're like, we covered it.
That was it. There was nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. We're going to end our Black Excellence column. Okay. So Akilah, do you want to take this away and introduce us into our Black Excellence for the week?
Oh my gosh, let's talk about our soror, Kamala, Kamala Harris. Make sure that you get her name correct because we'll be saying it for at least the next 2 months, hopefully for the next 4 years.
Amen.
Yes, and I just think it's just such a great moment for Black history, Black excellence, just everything happening. Like I was watching Miss America on Hulu, and they had a Shirley Chisholm situation there going on, and you know, just thinking from Shirley Shirley Chisholm to now Kamala Harris, and the fact that she was now, before the VP elect, now officially accepted her nomination to be vice president of the United States, running on Joe Biden's campaign, the DNC convention happening this week. And it's been great. It's been great. And, you know, a great moment. And I'm saying all the positives, but I know leading up to this, it was a very divisive moment. It was a very divisive vote. It was a very divisive candidate in a sense. You know, obviously she tried to get to that top spot, and a lot of things came out when it came to, you know, just her work as a prosecutor, her work in LA, etc. But can we put all that to the wayside now? I mean, she's the first Black American VP, and Asian American. Let's not forget the fact that she is, I believe, half Indian as well. Yeah, but this is Black excellence. This is Black excellence personified. She did it, and I'm excited for her. It's under you know, annoying circumstances. Obviously, in the convention, there were about 30 or so reporters there, so it wasn't a full round, no big applause, no big moment, but she did it, and she's here. Eboné, what do you think about Kamala Harris being who she is and being the VP, potential VP?
Potential. You know what? I have to say, let's start it off positive, because we want to start a little positive. That I think that's, like you said, an amazing step forward in history. Again, making another historic moment. You know, we had Obama for 8 years, and then potentially we have first of all, a woman.
Yes.
Okay? Secondly, a Black woman. Okay. In the White House. This is a step forward in America. This is amazing. Like, let's not take that away. I feel like with all the divisive opinions and everything that's happening and surrounding her name, I feel like let's not forget the fact that this is such a historic moment. Right. I mean, my stepmom, my dad, my mom never even thought they'd ever see a Black president, let alone a woman VP. Like, this is crazy. You know, I feel like we're taking a lot of steps. Now, I do have to say that who else was Joe Biden going to pick?
He had some folks. He had what's her name? Folks. Susan Rice, who was also in the Obama I guess, you know, circle in a sense. I forget the role that she had. Was it something foreign affairs? I don't really remember. He had a few people. Susan Rice, Kamala Harris. I think folks were mentioning I'm blanking on her name, the one in Georgia as well. Anyways, he had some people. Obviously, Kamala was a clear pick, and I'm glad.
But this is my thing. I mean, of course, he had options, of course. However, in this heightened moment of Black Lives Matter, okay, who else was he gonna pick? Like
what was gonna happen?
This is my thing. Who else was he gonna pick? Like, I feel like Kamala was the obvious choice because she's a woman, right? So now that when we get into our special segment,
I'm gonna say, doesn't it take us back then to what we were saying earlier with Twitch? That, you know, the fact that he's promoted,
it is.
You know, does it taint it in a sense because it's like, it's the only reason he was even considering it because of the moment that we were in? Or
but
what?
I mean, okay, it's the comments that he made, right? Like, you ain't voting for me if you ain't Black, whatever. And then it's, of course, so you need to pick a Black VP because that's the vote. Those are the voters that you're going for. Those and right now,
the people who really brought you to where you are supposed to be. Like, I mean, thank God for South Carolina. Thank God for the South and probably in general, who made him at least a viable contender and made sure that he got back in the ring, because we all thought Joe was out. We thought it was done, you know, from earlier. And I think this was kind of also a thank you because, you know, it's really just on our backs that he is able to be where he is, not in his entire political career, but definitely in this moment. And I enjoy it. And it's a great moment for entertainment as well. Like, lest we not forget that Kamala Harris's husband is a entertainment attorney and living in LA, and I wouldn't say it's probably through her husband, but she's very, very connected when it comes to the music industry, when it comes to the entertainment industry at large. But you saw, I mean, like, what's her name? Scooter Braun posted a picture of her and was like, this is my friend, she's running, and this and that. Like, you know, a bunch of folks came out and tweeted, Mindy Kaling, you know, Kerry Washington, you know, a bunch of folks.
It's a whole bunch of like influence speaking of Kerry
Yeah.
Washington, a whole bunch of influence and a whole bunch of, you know, again, like I said, Black people, us, we be driving the culture. We drive the industry, the hip hop, the music, entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So of course, so if you have the whole entertainment industry behind a candidate, like that already ups your votes. So if I'm a young person who's 18 and who's just voting, and my favorite rapper is promoting Kamala Harris and saying, oh, this senator, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. Right? Of course, I'm gonna be like, oh, man, like, I don't know what, and even if you don't know what's going on, you're gonna listen to the people that you listen to. Absolutely. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But speaking of Kerry Washington, I don't know if you saw the DNC last night, but it was very much so a concert. So Kerry Washington was hosting the DNC, and okay, I know this is, so now I didn't blow it, but you know, we're pre-taping this one. So, okay, we're pre-taping this. So it's a Thursday today.
Couple days.
It's a Thursday today. So on Wednesday night, the DNC was like day 3. Kerry Washington was hosting, and you guys, it was entertaining, I have to say, because what else are you going to do? It's now virtual. You have to keep it. Right. I mean, it normally is like it airs on TV, but now everyone's at home. So you're trying to like make it exciting. Yeah. So Billie Eilish, she performed. I mean, it was like a little concert. It was a moment. Event. Okay? Moment. Keep us entertained, DNC. I see y'all. Yes. You got a Black VP. Now we over here partying. We over here music industry up in DNC. I love to see it. It was really interesting. But just to get back to Kamala, she has stirred up a lot of opinions. And, some people are saying, well, hey, I don't have anyone else to vote for because we're not voting for Trump. So obviously this is a default choice, but it wouldn't even be my first choice if I had another choice to vote for Biden and or Kamala. Now, how I feel is that there's never going to be a perfect candidate. Never. Ever. And even if now listen, granted, Biden has very conservative Democratic views. Okay. Yeah. So he has views that probably would appeal to the older generation, which is why he won in the position that he's in, right? Bernie is too radical for like my parents' generation, right? Healthcare for all, blah, blah, blah. Who's going to pay for that? That's what they're thinking. Who's going to, how is he going to get it done? He's not going to be able to get it done. They don't see it being something that can happen. So for them, it's like, you're too much, like your ideas are all over the place and just sounds great, but I don't see it realistic. So you're already off my ticket, off my ballot. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably a default as to why even Biden is in the position he's in right now, right? So people like of my generation are like, dang, like I was here for Bernie, I was here for Elizabeth Warren. They wanted, reparations. I'm here for anybody that wants reparations. I'm here for anyone that's universal healthcare, someone that's going to wipe out my student debt, right? Things that are going to benefit us to elevate ourselves to the next level, because
to that level,
we're not buying houses. My dad was like, I bought a house at 21, right? We're not.
But it's because your loans and everything was very, very different. And that's the thing I think that people can't see. It's just the fact that yes, no one is saying that we need to, do away with responsibilities, but you got to recognize that when you just say student loans, it's not the same number that it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Everything is extrapolated to the sense that it's hard enough for folks to make it with the same salary. Like it just doesn't make sense. And you need someone with more ideas who's going to just wipe out the playing field, or just, even out the playing field by just saying, we are going to shake everything up. And I hope that, and I think in a lot of ways, we've seen how Joe has become very complacent in the fact that he thinks he's got it already. And I hope that folks don't, forget that things always happen about 2 weeks before the election, about 2 or 3 weeks before the election, that late October timeframe, something always comes up. I think with Hillary, was it Comey or something, the FBI like opening up back up this email foolishness, like, girl. everything. When you think you have it in the bag, those 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, it's always scary. So do not ever think you have it until you have it. And that should be a lesson for life.
It ain't over till it's over.
It ain't over till it's over. And so like, yes, we can be excited about this moment, but don't forget, like, and it's a very, like, that's what we're talking about. It's Black excellence at the end of the day, but it's not over. And I think when people lose sight of the fact that you don't have it yet, like, don't take us and don't take this situation for granted, because people will do a lot of crazy things just to teach someone a lesson. And if that means electing this crazy guy again for the next 4 years, like, you never know with people. We're on the coast, and I think it's a very different mindset than a lot of other places in America. So who knows? But yay, Kamala.
Yay, girl. Right. And you know what? I feel like everyone always has really good intentions going in, right? So I feel like all of her past, you know, she was a prosecutor, so all her past, you know, cases and whatever, I feel like as a lawyer, you go in, or, you know, you go in with the best intentions. Anyone in the justice system, political system, period. I think you go in with best intentions, but I feel like you realize quickly you need people on your side to get things done. And if you are too much left when everyone else is right, you are not going to get anything done, period. So I think even with Hillary, with Clinton, with any of the other political figures, of course, their names are signed on bills that may have been a great idea for them at the time and may not have been. Maybe they agreed, maybe they didn't. But at the end of the day, that was what their team, that's what everyone else pushed forward. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes I feel like it's a kind of a default thing. So you can't be like, you know what? You're the sole person that passed that bill. You're the sole person that pushed this initiative. When it's a whole team, it's a whole system. Listen, and I'm not the expert, so I don't get me the line on how that works. I don't know 100% of everything. But, you know, it's a whole system that works together. And sometimes it works against us. Most times it does. But again, you're pushing an initiative that's not just for you. It's for everyone else that's serving and doing that thing. So there's that. There's that on that. Yeah. Okay. That's that. There's that. Okay. But let's get into the Gotta Be Entertained, our special segment. Yes. Please let us know what it is that you're watching that you find so amazing.
So I don't know if it's so amazing, but it's definitely something that got on my radar because I'm just like, let's see what new shows or shows that I've heard about but haven't really given a chance to. And I have to point out Tyler Perry's Sisters that is on BET.
You like that? You like that?
This against my usual, but at the same time, it's something that I just have in the background while I'm working, and I do watch it every now and then. I'm just kind of like, wait, you know, they got a build up here. They got a story here. I'm here for the little things that's happening. Not completely here for the acting. Not completely here for the idea that one situation can take the entire episode where they're asking the same question to this person over and over again. It's a little soap opera-y, but I do like what's happening here. And it just made me think how easy it is and how grateful, honestly, the industry for right now should be for him for like, and what we talked about before in terms of setting the model and having the studio built in a sense that he can chop these out really quickly. Because I was just looking at the set and I was looking at the storyline and how they were like interacting with the props and everything. I'm like, this is something, you could do this. You could do this in probably 2 weeks, literally, and just chop it up. I thought the first season was over. I'm still on the first season. It's like right now on episode 24. Like, how many episodes are in the season? And it's like 40 minutes each. It's literally, and I'm just amazed. A lot of content. Like, I feel it's a lot of content. And I mean, it doesn't, and this is my thing. Sometimes you just got to put it out there because this is not any nomination worthy. Like, this will not be on the ticket for any of these type of things. But at the same time, I'm like, I enjoy it because, you know, it's a bunch of Black people and they're just doing their thing. And I feel like, and I enjoy, I think, what's happening behind the scenes here more so because I'm like, they are getting something done and they're putting something on air. I barely watch anything on BET, and I'm like, I wanted to just go back and see what's on BET, what's going on here. And I enjoyed it. I'm like, listen, y'all keep it up. I don't know what other content you're coming up with, but I'm gonna give BET more of my eyeballs, more of my time and see what else they have going on. Yeah, I thought it was interesting, girl. Give it an episode. And see, because then you'll realize yeah, you realize you're like, wait, this is something I can just have playing. And I'm like, I'm in and out when you need to be in and out. But at the same time, it's like, y'all are doing what needs to be done in this time. And I appreciate it.
Okay, I might have to give it a shot. You know what? I really wanted to watch that when it first came out. And I know there's another one, The Oval, which seems very dramatic and got very dramatic reviews as well.
Yes.
And then there's another one where they kidnap somebody and put her in. I don't know. It was
everything. They got all the genres.
Right. They got everything. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna really try to put. I think I've seen like clips on Instagram because I follow Devin Duvall, whatever his name is.
Yes.
Like
I don't know
influencer.
his name either.
The
right.
Black love couple. They're super cute. Anyways, so he's on it. So yeah, you know what? I'll check.
He's on it.
I'll check it out, Akilah, on your recommendation. Okay.
Do it, and let me know what you think.
Okay.
What are you watching?
Now, again, like I said, I'm late to the party, but I finished both seasons now.
Yeah.
The Politician on Netflix. Y'all? Yeah. The reason why I started watching it was because I was like, oh my God, the colors are really cute. And I think my manager at work was like, you should watch this show. And I put it on my list. It's been on my list for like a year. And so I was like, okay, let me just get into this. Like, I don't have anything else to watch right now. It's colorful. It's very pretty. You guys, it is so good. And the reason why I think it was so good is because it hits and identifies every single thing that we're kind of going through right now. Right? Like, so it's a high schooler who's like running for presidency because he's trying to get into Harvard. Through his presidency, his cabinet's kind of like, his advisors are like, you need a VP that is going to appeal to the masses, appeal to people who are not the popular kids, right? Like, you need to get those other votes. And so he picks someone who like supposedly has cancer, and you know, but I was like, my goodness, okay, Joe Biden and
right.
Okay. Like, I just felt so like this is everything that is happening right now, right? And then you know, season 2, it's like, you know, a fast forward, and I just enjoyed it, and I felt like it really helped like it just gave a different perspective, and like it was kind of like a funny ha at the whole political system, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's what made it great for me. And so especially right now in this like crazy time with everything happening, anyways, I enjoyed it, so I definitely would recommend to put that on. It's a good one.
All right, The Politician and Sisters.
Okay.
Very different shows, but I think, you know, you could handle both.
Handle both. You know what, Akilah, this has been so much fun with you, girl. I know we was really chatty today. We talking.
Really were.
We were chatty. We were. I think it's been a minute. We haven't been a minute.
Exactly.
Right. And the topics were really juicy and heavy. There was a lot going on. Things we talked about before, but kind of, you know, giving a little bit more to the story. We had more information.
Exactly.
And so, you know what? I had so much fun with you, Akilah. This was so much fun. Please let everybody know where we can find you.
Yes. So you can find me on all socials at Akilah Ffriend. That's with 2 F's because I have multiple F's to give, as you already know. I'm mainly on Instagram though, so at Akilah Ffriend.
Okay, and then I am.
Where can I find you?
Right, I am Eboné Chatman, and y'all can find me on Instagram, which is my main source, at Eboné Chatman 12. But I also have a Twitter, at Eboné Chatman 12 as well. Right, we got Twitter for the people.
Twitter also exists.
Right, it's
but
there.
Find us also with our podcast and everything. Let us know where they can find this episode and just everything to keep in touch with, you know, the Black Creators Club.
Oh my gosh, you guys, please, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like we got it all. So there's really no excuse. Like we got it all, you got it all. So you can find us at the Black Creators Club. Our email again, theblackcreatorsclub@gmail.com. You guys can email us. But you guys, thank you so much. Welcome back to the club. I cannot wait to see you guys again at the Clubhouse next week. You guys, this is amazing. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you.
See ya.